This video is going to focus on the heart of the fluidperformancemanagement.com. It's the heart. We call it the heart because it's essentially the control plan. It's what sets the daily to-dos. It's what ensures that a facility is being managed and maintained over time. It's the warning system when samples aren't being taken, when fluid condition is crossing certain thresholds. As I said, it's really the heart of the system and what allows us to deliver on an optimized process. So to take a look at the control plan. Again, control plans are unique to the different unit types. So again, in this case, we're going to take a look at coolants. We're going to take a look at the review button, and we're going to take a look at the actual control plans. So what's neat and powerful and interesting about control plans is that on a unit by unit basis, okay, here are all the different units at this specific facility. We can set up the control plan or the testing protocol on a parameter by parameter basis, on a unit by unit basis, meaning that these are all the different types of tests, the condition testing, the contamination testing that we typically look at from a fluid performance management perspective. So no particular order here, but we like to look at the amount of free oil. So in this case, every 2 days we're looking at the free oil that's accumulated in this specific sump. Dissolved oxygen, every 14 days we're taking a sample and we're looking at the actual dissolved oxygen that exists. pH, we're looking at it every second day. And this will tie in exactly with some of the discussions we'll have later on, but essentially every test has certain parameters and limits associated with it depending on that test. And some apply, some don't, right? Obviously, you're seeing some blanks in different locations. But obviously, the critical ones are things like refractive index, like pH, refractive index concentration, etc. So let's take a look at pH as an example. Our target pH, our ideal, our sweet spot, our zone is 9. Our target concentration is 9. Our operating limits are from 8.6 to 9.5, meaning that if our pH is ranging for this specific sump using this specific product, ranges and swings between 8.6 and 9.5, everything's good. That's our green zone. Okay, everything's fine. When we start wandering outside those limits, when our pH starts to go from an 8.6 and crosses that 8.5 threshold, or when it starts creeping above 9.8 as an example, we start running into problems. Below 8.5, we start running into bio issues. We start running into reduced rust protection. If we start going above 9.8, we start running into serious dermatitis risk. We start running into skin that will react to high pHs of that height. And where we actually want to start alerting people, where we need to, and this sort of elevates, this escalates it, so it brings it to the attention of the Zimmark team to make corrective action. But if it reaches the point where it actually crosses what we call an alert limit, meaning 8.3, below 8.3, you got real rust issues. You cross that threshold where things are going wrong. Or you're above 10%, we're now starting to worry about the operator. We're starting to worry about, in an aluminum application, we'd be worrying about staining. These automatically send out emails to the client sites to allow them and warn them that there's a potential for some significant impact based on the actual fluid condition. So as you can see, you can set these up across the board all the way down the line, whether it's temperature, titration concentration, mold, fungus, rust, bacteria. We set up our filter changeouts. All these parameters can then get entered in on a unit by unit basis. And this essentially is what drives our operators or our service technicians' daily activity. Or in the case of EFM, your people's daily activity. So essentially, by setting up a control plan associated with this, we can on a sump by sump basis identify what daily to-dos need to be done, what weekly to-dos, what monthly to-dos need to be taken care of, so that you don't run the risk of letting 3, 4, 5 months go by before you've actually taken a bacteria reading and found that you're putting your people at risk or you're putting your process at risk. So as I said, this is really the heart of fluidperformancemanagement.com, the ability to set up customized control plans per unit and allowing the system to then set up the to-dos and send out the warning bells when samples aren't being, when analysis isn't occurring on the one hand, and also send out emails automatically when certain test parameters are crossing thresholds that might negatively impact the process or negatively impact from a health and safety perspective.